Hello everybody, welcome to this Verbling class. My name is Teacher Amy and today's class is an interesting class about architecture. We're going to look at an article from BBC called 7 Unknown Architectural Wonders about 7 kind of very unusual, amazing buildings that people may not know about which are very cool. And we're going to use that as a sort of basis to talk about our countries and architecture within our countries. What's interesting about some of the places that are in our country, perhaps that people don't know about. I know that we are probably familiar with certain very, very famous pieces of architecture, for example, the Eiffel Tower in France, but I'm sure there are very fascinating pieces of architecture from your country that you might like to share with us. So while you're waiting for me to say hi to everyone, just have a little think about somewhere that you might share with us. And if you can, share your screen with us later on so that we can see a picture of these places. So check out Google and see if you can find somewhere interesting from your country that's a good example of interesting architecture that you can share with us. So we're going to wait for everybody to get here, and while we do, let me just share a couple of things with you, which I like to do at the beginning of my classes. So the first one is my Facebook page. If you're a Facebook person, you might like to like some of the teachers on Verbling and see what they post. All of the teachers post different kinds of stuff, so you might like to like one or two of us and use that to help you find useful information or just keep in touch with teachers and students on Facebook. The other page I'm going to share with you is my Verbling teacher page, and that is a good place to go if you want to find out any particular information about one of the teachers on Verbling. You can see all about us, who we are, where we're from, how long we've been teaching, and what of our specialities are, and also you can see our calendar for upcoming classes and timetable for our tutoring sessions. So if you're interested in having a one-on-one private tutoring session with any of the teachers, then you can book a slot with them through their Verbling teacher page and see when they're free as well. You'll also find their upcoming classes there, and if you do have any further questions about anything, then you can just write us a message. There's a very handy messaging feature that you can take advantage of. So all of those things done, what I would like to do is just to make a list of who we've got in the class, where you're from, and if there are any obvious, first of all, we'll stick with the obvious firstly, architectural wonders in your country. So let's say hello to, who are we going to go with first? Vladimir. Hello and welcome.
Hello. Glad to see you.
Nice to meet you. I don't know if I've met you before, have I, Vladimir?
I don't think so. I think
Well, it's lovely to
our
meet you.
first time.
Absolutely.
Nice
I
to
like
meet you.
meeting new students. So hello. Where are you from?
I'm from Russia.
Right. I thought you might be because of your name, but you know, Vladimir could be from other parts of the world as well. Could you tell us, Vladimir, what, if you have to think of your country, Russia, and architecture, what would be the first thing that would come into your mind? Is there a very famous building that we should all know?
In Russia.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's clear.
Hermitage.
Okay.
Hermitage.
Hermitage. And
In St. Petersburg.
in St. Petersburg. Okay, could you explain briefly what that is?
It is a very famous museum.
Okay, awesome. So I'm going to make a little list of these, and later on we're going to have a look at them. And we have the lovely Alexander, who's also from Russia. But Alex, you can come up with your own place in a moment, okay? All right, thank you. Thank you. No worries. Vladimir, so I'm going to paste you into the chat box. And thank you. Welcome to the class, Vladimir.
Okay.
Miguel, hello and welcome.
Oh, thanks. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Architecture.
Hello, hello. Did you hear
Breaking
me?
up.
The video is a little bit slow. Oh, now it's normally.
Oh,
Amy, you're breaking up.
maybe had a. All right. Well, I don't know what to do. My connection says that it's perfect, so that's a bit strange.
Yes, now it's
Now it's
okay.
better.
Go to back normal.
Not now.
Oh, okay. No, we're okay. All right. Okay, so Miguel, could you tell us where are you from and
Hi, I'm from Brazil.
what phase?
Oh. The video go back to make a noise. It's very slow now, the video, but I think it will be okay. Did you hear me? I'm from Brazil.
Yeah.
The first architecture here is the Cristo Redentor
Is there a?
in Rio de Janeiro.
I know. What's it called? Christ, right? Doing this.
Yes, yes. Yes,
Christ
in
in
the
Rio.
top of the mountain.
Yeah. Very. Ania, hello.
Hello. I'm sorry, but I can't hear you clearly.
All right, guys.
I
I don't
think
know what's
it's
happening.
some connection problem.
Maybe it seems. I don't know what's going on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the class and I will just come back to see if that helps. I will be right
Okay.
just 1 minute.
Okay.
Половина русские.
50-50.
Yes. There anyone who wants to study Russians?
Sorry to leave you for a second there. Is that any better?
Yes, it's much better.
Wonderful. Okay, so Ksenia, I believe that you're from Russia.
Yes, I'm from Russia, but I don't think about architecture in Russia a lot because I don't travel in Russia. So I think the most famous city in this area, I think St. Petersburg,
Yeah.
maybe Kazan, Moscow. I think that's all.
Okay, so do you have any particular buildings in mind, or just in general the architecture in that city, in those cities?
No, I don't know anything about architecture, and no, I think it's not my field. It's not my cup of tea.
Well, there you
And
go. You're going to learn, maybe not learn so much, but find out about it a bit more today, Ksenia. So I'm going to put you down there. Thank you and welcome.
okay.
David, hello.
Hello, Abby.
Nice to see you again. How are you?
Nice to see you as well. I am doing very well. What about you?
I'm doing great, thank you. So David, same question to you. Where are you from, and what architectural wonder can you tell us comes from your country?
Well, I am from Colombia, but like the other classmates, I am really ignorant about architecture. Maybe the only that I know a little bit is the colonial architecture that
Yep.
we have in our country,
Yep.
and was made by the Spanish people when they were the colonized when they colonized us. So
Yeah.
they built a church and some important walls. This kind of.
All right. So yeah, that's absolutely true. In general, some colonial architecture. Awesome. Thank you very much. That's great, David. All right. Who else do we have here? Andre. Now,
Hi, Amy.
how are you?
I'm good, and how are you?
I'm well, thank you. I'm interested to hear what you're going to say about your country and architecture.
I think mm, first that comes to my mind maybe Kremlin. Kremlin is
Okay, yep, sure.
famous. But I guess that Russia has always been famous for its cathedrals, and there are so many in Russia.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially in St. Petersburg.
As a foreigner, Andrei, I think when I think of Russia, I definitely think of your cathedrals. They're very distinctive, and they're kind of those type of shots that are used like on travel brochures and things, you know. So have a think about what comes up for your country on a travel brochure, and maybe that will help you guys. Thank you, Andrei. All right, Ali.
Yes, hi.
Hello. I'm going to ask you the same question. So can you tell everybody, please, where are you from and what kind of architecture is important about your country?
I'm from Turkey. And we don't have a famous building or something like that, but we have a lot of church, old church, like cathedrals, something like that, and
Yep.
a mosque.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe the famous one is we call Hagia Sophia, right?
Yes, I've heard of it.
Yeah, it was a church after Ottoman Empire, how to say, invade Istanbul city. Then they turned into a mosque. It's a mosque, no, not church anymore. And in the 16th century, the Ottoman king, how to say it, I don't know, built a mosque over the Hagia Sophia. There are two mosques just over each other now.
It's a really interesting story. Thank you very much, Ali.
Yeah.
And that's definitely something I've heard of and found quite amazing, especially because of the sense that Turkey is often sort of said to be the country where East meets West. And it's like the perfect symbol of a church turning into a mosque, right?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Thank you. Alexander, how are you today?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
Good. I'm wonderful. Thank you. So, have you got anything to add about Russia?
Yes, I'd like to add that there is an interesting cathedral that is on the Red Square in Moscow, and it's called the Cathedral of Basilis, of Saint Basilis.
Okay. Can you type it for me? Because I'm not sure how to spell that.
Yeah, translate them.
Brilliant. All right, and what does it look like?
I think you would better to see that in the Google
All right.
picture, because it's really tough to describe.
Okay.
It's really picturesque cathedral.
Nice word. It's picturesque. Okay, thank you, Alex. So what we will do is towards the end of the class, we will look up these places, guys. But we're going to read a bit of our article first. So thank you, Alexander. Wonderful. And last but certainly not least is Aldona. How are you, Aldona?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm thinking about architecture in Poland. We have here one village where houses are built upside down.
Really?
Yes.
And what do you mean by upside down?
The bottom is up and the top is down.
Down. And what do you mean? Inside you go into the bedrooms and upstairs is the kitchen, or?
The house and the whole house is constructed upside down.
Wow, that sounds amazing. And why? Why do you have a whole village like that, Aldona? Is it something from history or just?
I think it's one of the tourist attraction.
Wow, awesome. Okay, so could you type the name of it for us, and we'll look it up later. Sounds very fascinating.
Here you have
Perfect.
the link.
The chat box is being a bit weird at the moment. It doesn't seem to be flowing very nicely, so it's hard to see, but eventually you can see the messages, guys. All right, so what we'll do is we'll spend a bit of time having a look at these 7 architectural wonders from the I'll paste it 3 times, so hopefully you can access the link from the page, sorry. And I'm going to share my screen with you. We'll read a bit, practice our reading, go over any new words, we'll have a look at these amazing different places, and then we will share the images from the places that we've already mentioned about our own countries. So, here you have a picture of something. To me, it looks pretty amazing, quite unusual, and it says that it's Mali's Great Mosque of Jen. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that, and we're going to find out about it in just a moment. So here we have 7 unknown architectural wonders. If you already do know about these, please say, because perhaps they're known by you. Who knows? So Aldona, could you start off, please, with this tiny little bit here?
Mm-hmm. Forget the Taj Mahal and the Colosseum. Some of the world's most impressive structures remain out of the public eye.
Great. And you can keep going, please.
We've all heard of the Colosseum, the Great Wall of China, and the Taj Mahal, but what about the world's undiscovered architectural wonders? The man-made marvels where most crowds don't stray. Read the article. Friends want live advice.
You can miss that part out.
Okay.
So just this part here to uncover. Oh, Aldona, could you just read this last bit here for me?
Okay. To uncover a few of those hidden structures, we turn to question and answer site Quora, asking what are some lesser-known architectural landmarks in the world?
Perfect. Thank you. Wonderful reading. Okay, let's just go through and see if there are any questions about the vocabulary in those little paragraphs. Does anyone like to ask anything? No, we all clear? Right, easy peasy. In that case, let's look at the first one. So Alexander, could you read this, please?
Yes, just a sec. Palace of the Parliament of Romania, the world's largest, most expensive, and heaviest civilian and administrative building. But the best palace of the Parliament is truly an unknown wonder. Built by hated communist dictator Nicholas something, the building is so huge that it's difficult to take a photograph that does its scale justice, said Quora user Jan Ho, a lawyer who worked at the palace in the mid 90 just a second, I forgot how to spell it. 1990s.
Well done, Alexander. 1990s, correct. Great reading. Anyone have any questions? No? I just want to point out this one. What does it mean to do something justice? To do something justice. Does anyone know, or can anyone have a guess?
Maybe to provide or show its real size, maybe in this case.
Exactly. Yeah, this is a really handy phrase because you can use it with different things. In this case, we're talking about its size, but we quite often use this phrase by itself. So you might say something like, it's really difficult to do it justice. In a photograph is often one that we use, because what you're really saying is that it's so impressive that when you take a photo of it, you lose a lot of the power. So you're not doing it justice. You're not showing its true magnificence. And you can talk about anything if you talk about that. It's hard to maybe to do an experience justice by just telling somebody about it. It was so amazing. Okay, so has anyone ever heard of this place or been there? No? Has anyone ever been to Romania?
No.
Well, there you go. In that case, none of us will have seen it. Well, if you ever do go to Bucharest, then check this place out. It looks pretty magnificent to me. Let us carry on. Ali, could you read the little caption under the photo and the next paragraph, please?
Okay. The Palace of the Parliament in Bucharest, Romania, has some 3,100 rooms covering 330,000 square meters.
Yes, well done. Keep going.
Built in 1984, the neoclassical building has 12 stories, with 8 additional stories underground, and some 3,100 rooms covering 330,000 square meters. The project cost an unprecedented €3.3 billion, but it also cost the people of Bucharest much of their fee. To build the Palace of the Parliament, 1/5 of central Bucharest was razed, including most of its historical districts, more than 30 churches and synagogues, and some 30,000 homes.
Thank you, Ali. I think I get an idea of more of the scale of this enormous place when you read that paragraph. It is hard to tell in the picture how much was knocked down so that you can see it. All right, so anyone want to ask any questions about vocab?
Raised is demolished or something?
Yes, it's demolished to the point where there's absolutely nothing left. Totally gone.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else clear? All right. Andre, could you take the next one for us?
Yeah, sure. The patterned carpets on the main level, which runs through hundreds of yards of wide corridors, were woven inside the building during construction, Hawke said. Weaving them outside and bringing them in was not feasible due to their sheer size.
Thank you. Beautiful. All right. So can somebody, let me see, David, can you explain to me in your own words, what did they do about making the carpets? Are you there, David? Okay, no. Any volunteers? No. How about you, Vladimir? What did they do with the carpets?
They wove them inside the house, inside the building, because it wasn't possible to weave them outside and then get them inside
Absolutely.
the building. They
It's
were
hard to
too
imagine.
big.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to imagine that, isn't it? Like, usually you can roll up a carpet, but apparently not. What do you think, Vladimir, of the fact that so many places were knocked down and demolished to make way for this massive building. Is it worth it? Do you think buildings like this are important, or are they a waste of money?
It's hard to say. It's really hard to say.
Could you like just give your opinion a little bit? So what could be good about it? What could be bad about it, maybe?
I know, as I know, Romania isn't that big, so I don't know why do they need such a big government building or parliament.
Yeah, I agree. It seems a bit crazy, doesn't it? Why,
French.
why would we need such a humongous building? So expensive and so massive. I wonder what's inside. Probably not much. Perhaps you can go on a trip there and have a look. All right, thank you guys. Let's look at the next one. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. And it's, David's turn to read. Oh, David's gone. So I'm going to go to Xenia. Could you read Great Mosque of Jen in Mali for us?
Great Mosque of Jen, Mali. Built in 1907, the Great Mosque of Jeni is the largest mud structure in the world, constructed almost entirely of sand-baked earthen bricks, sand and mud-based mortar and plaster. It is considered one of the greatest achievements of the Sudana-Seychelles architectural style, and was designed a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1988. Yes.
Great reading, well done. This one's pronounced 1907.
1907.
Yeah. If you say 1907, it doesn't quite sound right. We can't get the fact that it's a date. So if you have a number below 0 in this position, we usually say O, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Except for the 2000s, which changes. Okay, any questions? No? You can see it there in the background. I can hardly believe that it's made of mud.
It was made of mud.
I know! Pretty impressive,
It's crazy.
All right, let's just read a little tiny bit more about it. And Miguel, could you take the mosques?
The mosque's three minarets are decorated with bundles of Rhodes plant, with double as scaffolding for the annual repairs, a tradition that became a local festival in April and May.
Keep going.
The brutal North African summer bring out cracks in the mud, and we can eat off time, said quarter user Abhishek Lamba. Before the yearly rains that follow, the local get together and he coats the entire building with clay from a dried up pond.
Well done, Miguel. Great reading. This one is pronounced bundle.
Bundle, what is it?
Good question. Does anyone know what a bundle is?
Bunch?
Yeah, exactly. It's just the same as a bunch, really. Like a little group of leaves or something. In this case, rhodia palm leaves, I'm guessing, or other parts of the plant. Wow, this story is kind of amazing to me. I don't know about you guys. I just imagine the entire village recoating this massive building with clay every single year. It's kind of impressive. I don't know whether I'd really be up for doing that. Does anyone have any more questions about vocabulary? No?
Scaffolding in the second line.
Okay, what is scaffolding? Good question. Anyone have any ideas?
I know it's hard to explain. It's kind of temporary buildings just to help
Workers.
build something
Understood.
that is high.
Yes, exactly. We're going to add something, Aldo.
Usually, if the building is under construction, it is covered with scaffolding.
Absolutely, Vladimir. Well explained. So it's It's like a temporary structure, usually made of poles and boards, right? It's not really a proper building. It's just something that builders use to climb on so that they can reach the top or the side of a building when they're doing repairs or something like that. All right, so let's have a look at the next one, and then we're going to stop for a moment. So, Vladimir, could you read about Pakistan?
Sure. A fortress of monumental proportions. There was 30 stunning bastions rise from the desert in a striking square formation. Combined, the fort's walls form a circumference of some 1,500 meters and stand some 30 meters high.
Thank you. Could you read the caption as well?
To visit the Derawaya fort, visitors must hire a guide with a four-wheel drive vehicle and make the day-long trip through the Kholistan desert.
Desert. Yeah, dessert is something that you eat after the meal. But you'd probably need dessert, yeah. It seems like a bit of a big trip, doesn't it? But, I don't know, let's have a look and see what... Andre, do you think that looks like an impressive place, or would it not interest you if you went to Pakistan?
I guess it's interesting, but what is circumference?
Good question. What is a circumference?
Around. Basically, it's around.
Yeah. It's
border around.
Yeah.
It's because it's a fort, so it's kind of closed structure, right?
It looks like a bunch of nuclear stations.
It does actually, doesn't it? Maybe it is. Maybe it's secret nuclear stations. Yeah, so the circumference is all the way around the edge. Exactly right, because it's a closed structure. Correct. Any other questions? No? Okay, let's read a tiny bit more about it. Aldona, it's your turn again.
This is a magnificent structure in the middle of the Collisian desert that quarries user force. Many people don't know about their war fort. Even most Pakistanis don't know of it. And for good reason. To get to the fortress, visitors must hire a guide with a four-wheel drive vehicle to make the day-long trip from the city of Bahawalpur, Pakistan, through the Kholistan desert to the fort, where special permission from the Amir or local leader is needed to go inside.
Thank you, Aldona. Okay, I think all the words there are relatively straightforward. All right, so we've looked at 3 places. We've got, just to remind you, we've got this place in Romania, this massive palace. We've got the mud place in Mali. And now we've got this crazy fort in Pakistan. So, who am I going to ask? I'm going to ask Alexander. Alex, if you won a free trip to go to one of these places, which one would you go to?
I don't know. In my view, maybe I have a strange taste, but I'd like to visit the Pakistan fort.
Yeah? Why?
Yeah, why not? Because it's pretty dangerous, would be, I think, and you know, I like to have an adrenaline, you know, when the heart is races.
Yeah, sure. And also, Pakistan, I think, is an interesting country anyway. So once you finish looking at the fort, there's other stuff to do, right?
I don't know. I've never been to there. But I hope
Me neither. Yeah, I imagine so. Okay, nice choice. Ksenia, if you want a free trip, you don't have to pay. You just get to go on a little holiday. Which of these places would you go to?
Palace of the Parliament in Romania, of course.
Okay, and why of course?
Because I don't like wild place like Pakistan, Mali with a high law of poorness.
Poverty.
Poverty, yes. I think it's very dangerous and unpleasant place for me.
Okay, good reasoning. And is there something in particular that interests you about the palace, or do you think it would just be, you know, interesting to see such a big place?
I like big places. I like, I don't know, it's modern, but in my taste, I like modern places, not old. And I think the most modern of I think it's palace.
Yeah, for sure. All right, good
Yes.
choice, Ksenia. Vladimir, which one would you go to?
I would go to Pakistan because I like sand, like beaches, and I would like to get a four-wheel drive.
That's a very boy answer, Vladimir, but I accept it. All right, so you'd be prepared to spend an entire day driving to that place.
Yeah, I think it would be interesting.
All right, and you get to talk to the local guide, hopefully, if you have an interpreter or somebody there.
Yeah, I hope he speaks English.
Yeah, exactly, hopefully. Or maybe Russian, you never know.
Oh, maybe.
All right, who else do we want to talk to? Ali. Ali, I'm going to ask you a different question. Do you think architecture or visiting man-made buildings or structures is an interesting thing to do on a holiday or if you go to a new place?
Can you repeat the question? I didn't understand.
Sure. If you go to a new place, like on a holiday or you visit somewhere for the weekend, do you enjoy visiting man-made buildings, like seeing architectural things of interest, or do you prefer doing other types of activities?
It depends. Sometimes it's good to see some architecture or good landscape or natural things. But sometimes I want to do some different activities. It depends. I like
Okay.
both of them.
When you do visit architectural type interesting things, do you prefer the modern or the ancient?
I like to see ancient things, like there are fort, Pakistan, or I don't know. In my country, there we have a lot of historical places like this, like fort or castles or church, mosque. I like to visit them.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Who haven't I asked yet? Miguel. I'm going to ask you a different question
Yes.
as well. Do you think that it's a wise way to spend money when countries spend a lot of money on building something impressive? Like, let me give you a modern example. I'm not sure what it's called, but there's a very, very tall tower, like a hotel in Dubai. Does anyone know what that's called?
Yes, I saw in the picture in the internet.
Yeah, it's the tallest building in the world, I believe.
Yes.
And it looks quite impressive. But do you think that kind of thing is a good use of money, or is it a waste? What do you think about that?
I think it's waste of money, because if you stay in a poor country or you have a country that needs money, I think you gave some money for schools, hospitals. You think make something different.
Okay. So maybe it's a waste of money. They could have just built a normal hotel, or perhaps they didn't even need a hotel. All right. I've forgotten who I've asked now. Andrzej, have I asked you?
I guess no.
All right. Well, tell me what you think. Is architecture a waste of money?
If you, for example, see these towers, like I think some countries are in competition of highest tower. So I guess it's mostly it's a waste of money.
And what about in the olden days, right, when they built all these amazing cathedrals and stuff? Do you think that they should have just saved their money? because it was mostly kind of rich singular people, whereas now I'd say it's more about governments and countries deciding to spend money on that. Do you think there's a difference
Yeah, there
between...
is a difference because cathedrals, the religion has always been a very important part of the life of the Russians. So
Yep.
cathedrals were very important for them.
Okay.
But I think it depends on the buildings that are being built. So building a parliament and demolish many houses, and I think it's crazy. It's crazy. I think it shouldn't be done.
I have to say I agree a little bit with that. All right, so guys, we're going to spend the last 15 minutes with a bit of a challenge. You're going to have about a minute. I'm going to find some pictures of the place that you described at the beginning of class from your country, and I want you to try and convince your fellow classmates that this is a wonderful place to come and see. You can use any kind of persuasive technique that you like. At the end, I will ask all of you where you would most like to go if you have to choose one of the places mentioned by one of our class members. So, up first with this challenge is the wonderful Miguel, because I asked you first at the beginning of class. So Miguel, oh no, it's not. It's Vladimir. Vladimir, are you prepared? You're going to go first. I'm going to find the Hermitage in St. Petersburg, which is a famous museum, or at least I'm going to try and find it. And you've got a minute. I don't want Google Translate. Oh, well, let's just use this one anyway. Is that how you spell it there, Vladimir?
Yep.
All right, awesome. So what we want is pictures. Okay, go. Vladimir, a minute. Try and convince us that we want to go and see this place.
Can I ask, why do you use Spanish Google?
Because I don't know. I use Spanish Google when I'm doing translation sometimes, and it just came up automatically.
Okay.
All right, so here we go. I'm going to show some pictures. Off you go. Convince us. Why do we want to go and see this place?
Oh, okay. It's a wonderful place. Hermitage is one of the most famous museums in the whole world, and probably one of the best museum. It was made by I don't remember who made it, really. Blame on me.
Somebody important, I'm sure.
Yeah. Not by somebody Russians.
I'm sure it must have been somebody Russian. I'm hoping all these pictures are of the Hermitage. It's just, they look pretty stunning, though. Okay, if you're not interested in museums, is it still worth visiting?
I don't know. Yeah, it's still worth it because it is in St. Petersburg, one of the most beautiful cities in the world. So.
All right, excellent. Thank you, Vladimir. Okay, so keep that in mind, guys.
The trip anyway pays off.
The trip will pay off even if you hate the museum, guys, okay?
Yeah.
All right, excellent. Miguel, it's your turn. So I'm going to look up, what's the name of the statue of Christ? If I just look up Christ in Rio.
Christ in Rio de Janeiro, I think you will be sure.
Okay, cool. Yeah, there we go. Off you go. Convince us. Why do we want to go and see this awesome thing?
Because in climbing the statue, you can see the view, beautiful view in the city, like the Copacabana beach, the lake, beach. Ipanema is a very beautiful beach. You can see Maracanã Stadium. Well, if you climb the statue, you can see a lot of the view in the seats. Very beautiful views.
And what about if you're scared of heights, Miguel?
Perdão, esquelo?
If you're scared of heights.
I didn't understand.
If you are frightened by high places.
No, it's very safe because it's a large place. It's not a it's a large place to stay.
Okay.
You can take photos.
Wonderful. All right, thank you very much, Miguel. So if you're interested in seeing a brilliant view of Rio and visiting this enormous statue, then maybe you want to consider going to Brazil. Okay, Ksenia, it's your turn. So what would you like me to look up for you? Anything in particular?
Anything.
Shall we look up Moscow, because we've already looked up St. Petersburg, and you can do a presentation on the general architecture of Moscow. Okay, off you go. Oh, that's a bit small. What can you tell us about it?
Okay, Kremlin. It's the most beautiful buildings in our country, and if you want to visit Moscow, you certainly should go to the Kremlin, because it has beautiful walls, beautiful roofs. It's very colorful, especially in the spring and summer. And as I know, there are a very low price on tickets, so you can afford it, I think. And you can take beautiful photos because it's allowed inside. And I think there are a special room with delicious snacks and free drinks, so you should eat and drink some coffee or tea for free. So I convince you to go there.
How could you miss that, Ksenia? Honestly, free drinks. Who can say no? Well done. Okay, Andre, it's your turn. So, are you going to go for the Kremlin as well, or do you want to choose another place? What would you like to do?
I found one interesting cathedral. I've been there. I'll try to copy and paste the name of this just to show. Maybe I can describe it.
Brilliant, thank you. If you could paste it about 3 times, please, because then I can see it. Sometimes the bottom doesn't come up.
I'll paste it in Google Chat because Verbling Chat is, I think it's something
stuffed up. Okay, thank you. I've got it. So the Cathedral of the Transfiguration of the Saviour?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Okay, here we go. Wow, that is this place here.
Yeah, it is placed in island of Kizhi. It's in Karelia region, and it is actually built from the wood. So you can believe, but can you believe that?
Wow.
It is wood and connected with some how do you call it?
They look like logs to me. Are they logs? Yeah. Okay.
Let me translate this word. Actually, what do you use to connect two woods together? It's nails. Yeah, nails. But actually, nails were not from iron, but actually it was wooden nails. I'm not sure how did they do that, but very impressive.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Andre. That looks fantastic. Okay, Ali. Let me just see if I can find. What would you like me to look up? The Hagia Sophia. How do you spell that? This, I'm just guessing. Other people have looked that up. Okay, Ali, are you ready? See if you can convince us to visit this place. He doesn't know.
Yeah, I think Istanbul is one of most beautiful city in the world. The city is two parts. One part is on Asia, and one part is on Europe. And two bridges connect to two continents each other. There is a Mediterranean Sea between two continents, and There are a lot of historical places in Istanbul, like old church from how to say Byzantine Empire.
Yep, the Byzantine. Yep.
Yeah, Byzantine Empire. You know, Istanbul uh, uh, is always capital city when Byzantine Empire and Ottoman Empire.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see many historical places, like in the picture, Hagia Sophia. It was a church when the Byzantine Empire, after Ottoman Empire, got to Istanbul and located in Istanbul. They changed it. It's a mosque now. And you can see a beautiful palace in Istanbul, and there are some museum, a lot of old or historical things in that palace.
Wonderful.
It's near the Hagia Sophia. It's all in a kind of district, the same region.
Yep. Wow, it looks absolutely magnificent, Ali. Nice description of Istanbul. Okay, Alexander, would you like me to look up St. Basil's Cathedral?
I think it's already mentioned.
Okay, would you like to choose another place or have a go at this one?
No, I'd like to describe one more.
Okay.
Just a sec. I'll post it in the Verbling chat. Yeah. So it's
Okay.
called Peterhof.
Okay, I'll look up this one. Cool, thank you. And off you go. Tell us about it.
So it is a very beautiful place. It is in not close to St. Petersburg, about 10 kilometers or something, and it was a palace of queen.
Yep.
As you can see, it is very picturesque, beautiful, wonderful place. Of course, you can take a photo here, there. You will be very popular after that among your friends. You can take a selfie if you want. What else? This place is amusing, especially in the summer when the fountains is working,
Yep.
and it adds so much amusement to that place, and just I think everyone who are interested in Russia, who is interested in Russia and just wants to know something about it, a little piece of that country, they probably have to visit that place, and especially St. Petersburg. And in St. Petersburg, there are a lot of cathedrals, palaces, and just great places. And Peterhof, one of the beautiful places that I've ever seen. Yeah.
Thank you. Beautiful. That does look absolutely stunning, and I'm actually really like fountains, so I would
It
probably
looks
go.
very, royal.
It does look very royal. All right, thank you, Alexander. Last but not least, Aldona. What am I going to look up? Upside down Polish houses? Do you know
Okay,
the
the
name of
problem
it?
is with them that I've never been there, so I don't know what inside of these houses
Well,
are.
shall
But
we
okay,
investigate?
anyway.
Here.
Yeah.
Wow, it's crazy.
Yes.
So, you have no idea what's there, but it does look pretty fascinating. Can you tell us what might be there? Have you heard anything about it from your fellow Poles?
As you can see in the picture attached to the screen, these houses are very, very, very interesting because these are unique in the world, and You have to live upside down. I don't think so. That you have to live upside down. Well, if you this, I think this is a perfect place to go when you don't know where to go or what to visit, because it's in the very cozy village and far from the big cities, far from the dirty fumes of the cars. So, as also you can see, you may meet there many tourists from the whole world. They come there to take photos, probably. So it's a perfect place to meet someone new, maybe to date someone. I don't
Excellent.
know.
Thank you, Aldona. If you're looking for a husband or a wife, then perhaps you could consider a trip to the Upside Down village in Poland. It looks amazing. Thank you, Aldona. All right, so guys, time has come to make your decision. What I would like you to tell me is, out of all of those places that presented by our classmates, which one would you go to? And you're not allowed to choose your own place, okay? So, Vladimir, where would you go?
I would go to Brazil because I like high places.
You like high places. Excellent. Brazil, 1 point. All right, Miguel, where would you go?
I'd like to go to Moscow, to Kremlin.
Okay, the Kremlin, 1 point. Ksenia, where would you go?
St. Petrograd, in a palace.
Okay, the palace. I must say that might have been my favorite too. Andre, where would you go?
I think I have always wanted to go to Brazil.
Brazil, 2 points. All right. Ali, what about you?
I would like to go to the Moscow because there is free drink.
The free drinks. Well done, Ksenia. Kremlin, I think, has free drinks.
Welcome.
Okay, Alexander, where would you go?
To Brazil.
Brazil, 3 points. I think Brazil's going to win. Aldona, how about you?
I would stay with my houses.
You're not allowed to choose your own. But since you've never been, I'll let you off. Okay? All right. Well done, everybody. Congratulations, Miguel. Either you were the most convincing or your country has the most appeal. Well done.
Yes,
I'm not sure which of those two it is, but we won't discuss that. All right, guys, I will let you all go. If you would like to practice your writing, you can join me in the next class. But if I don't see you again, I hope you have a wonderful evening. Take care, and I hope to see you again soon. See you later.
Thank you,
See you
Amy.
later.
Bye.
Thank you, Amy. See you. Bye.